Buddy Omar here, your South African knife guy, and I'm back with another fun-filled video for you. Happy 4th of July, and this morning, uh, I decided to do a video of all of my production knives that I currently have in my collection. I don't have very many. That was actually the plan, to not have very many, but unfortunately it's not happening. So I thought I would just go over whatever production knives that I have, because I'm known as a South African knife guy, but I do have I do have quite a few production knives. And these production knives are based on what I like in a knife in general. So it's not like this collection of knives was for any particular reason. These are just knives that I saw that were just appealing to me, and actually I'm trying to have this collection go back down again. If anybody here sees any knives that they're interested in purchasing or buying, let me know. I'm going to go through the knives and let you know which ones I'm willing to sell off. It's probably not a lot, but like I said, it just keeps growing and growing and growing. But the idea was I was going to have like one knife from every major production company, and it didn't happen. I just kept looking at knives. I kept seeing knives that I liked, and I kept buying them. So you can't see all of these all in the frame right now, but I'm going to hold each one up so you guys get a good close look. So we're going to go ahead and start off with this one here, which is the WE Knives Shadan. I'm just going to go over these knives. So this is a frame lock knife by WE Knives. Very nice and smooth. It's a real pretty knife. I also wanted to mention I am going to do another video later on today of a brand new knife that I got. So I wanted to let you guys be aware of that. So this is the Shadan by WE Knives. It's a frame lock. I really kind of like the texture on the knife. It's very, very grippy. Fits real good in the hand. This kind of reminds me of the Spyderco Swish Bowie, which I also have in my collection. You'll see that in a minute. So that's the Shadan. And this one here is by Justin Lundquist. And I hate this crap. I forgot the name of this knife, unfortunately, but it's by Jason Lundquist. This is a chisel grind. I mean, if you look at the knife, this is another reason why I got the knife. See, it looks like it's off-centered, right? But actually, it's not off-centered. It's perfectly centered, but because it's only grinded only on one side of the knife, and you can see that. See, this side here is the one, this side here on the knife is the one that's been sharpened, but then on this side of the knife, it's not. So that's what creates this particular knife to look like it's off-center, even though it's not. But if you look further up on the knife, I don't know if you guys can tell, but if I can hold it this way, you'll see that it's perfectly even once you don't look at the end of the knife here. If you just look at like right in the middle of it, you'll see that it's actually perfectly centered. But that was, it's kind of like an MC Escher thing. It's like it's perfectly centered, but it's not. And I thought that was kind of interesting. It's a front flipper knife. Front flipper is accessible, but this is not one of those front flipper knives that you get as your first one. You kind of want to be experienced in flipping front flippers before you go with something like this, because you can barely even see the like, where does your thumb go? All you have there is like some jimping, and it's barely even above the frame, so you'd have to feel it and then just pop it open. But once you get used to it, it's pretty easy. The Launch 11 by Kershaw. I thought this is a really cool piece to have because it's all black. It's black wash blade. Be a really nice user. It's a small knife, aluminum handle. Um, just a great overall automatic. One of the few automatics I actually own in my collection. I used to have like the Launch 1. I think I got like the Launch, I think it was the Launch 5, and I got rid of those because, I wasn't really using them all that much. But there were certain models, excuse me, there were certain models that I wanted to have, and this is one of them, the Launch 9 by Kershaw. The gold pivot ring looks really good. The fact that it's a nice black wash blade. Really good pocket clip. This thing is real snappy. You know what I mean? When it's... plus the fact that I live in Washington and automatics are actually illegal where I am. Alrighty, so we move on to... I'm going to have to revisit a lot of these knives. My mind is just going blank. CTS XHP Spyderco. Man, I'm going to need some serious help. We're trying to remember what these knives are. If there's anybody out there that wants to chat up and maybe give me the correct name for this knife, because my mind just went blank. This one was a favorite XHP blade by Martin Swish. There you go, Martin Swish, who also made the Spyderco Swish Bowie, which you're going to see in a few minutes. God, I want to remember the name of this knife. I can't remember it. It's just a blank. The wire clip, famous Spyderco wire clip, is really very, very popular. This is the second version of this knife. The first version of this knife was with blue G10 backspacer. Here we have the green barrel spacers, and you get CTS XHP, the original one of this particular knife. I think it's a collector's item now because it's getting harder and harder to find with the blue G10 backspacer. That one came out in S30V steel. That was the one I originally had, and I got rid of it. But this is really nice and smooth. And it's just a washer knife. It doesn't run on ball bearings. Yeah. The next one, the name of this knife, I do remember. Most of you guys know it. Spyderco Sage. Access lock. With the access lock, sorry. It's got S30V steel. Carbon fiber. Now, the whole entire knife is not carbon fiber, just so you guys are aware. From here, I'm going to see if you guys can tell, but from here all the way up to where you see the separation, that separation there is actually the carbon fiber. So it's all G10 underneath. Most of the knife is G10 underneath, and the top is like a thin layer of carbon fiber on it. Really smooth. Here's another one that I remember the name of. Thank God, the zero tolerance 0900. This is long gone. They stopped making this knife, I believe, 2010. It was discontinued. It's made by Les George. This one I had to have because, ZT doesn't have like very many big little knives or like small knives. ZT just doesn't do very many of those, and this is the only one. In fact, I think this is the last one that they ever came out with, ZT. I don't know what ZT's doing now, but they're no longer innovating anymore. They're pretty much just, gone back to the wayside, because the concept was back in 2012 when ZT first came out. They were going to be the high-end market of Kershaw knives, because Kershaw knives, they usually at the time before ZT came out, and this is the sad thing, before ZT came out, Kershaw had a plethora of amazing knives that came out, all different sizes, shapes, steels, mechanisms. I mean, they just went crazy, Kershaw. And then they decided to, okay, well, let's separate it because the market can't, or the buying public really can't afford like a high-end line. So let's create a high-end line and keep the Kershaw low budget line and keep that growing. And that was the plan. So they came out with, I believe in 2012, they came out with like a series of like 8 knives. And then, 8 or 9 knives, I think, something like that, that were all high end, the very early version of ZT. And they were all fantastic knives. And then as time went on, we began to notice that zero tolerance wasn't growing as far as how many knives or how many offerings of knives they had. They just stuck with the same one, the 0562 and whatever other, the 566, whatever other knives that they had at that time, but they weren't innovating higher end knives, and it just stopped. And now they're not doing anything at all. Period. They just keep on pushing the Kershaw line, and the Kershaw line is no longer even all that interesting anymore. And that's sort of a sad thing, I think. The next knife I have is the Hound by Boost Blades. This one's discontinued also. Love this one. This one is by Boost Blades. William Booz made this knife. This is the Boost Blades Hound. This is an all titanium frame lock. It's a beautiful knife. Blade length is like right around 3.1 inches. It's just a beautiful, beautiful knife overall. All in blue. It came in blue and silver, I believe, and green. You at the time you could get it in green. They no longer make this one. I got this one from I got this knife from William Booz, who said he had like a couple of these lying around, and I told him, "Do you have any more?" When I was chatting up with him, he says, "Yeah, I got like maybe 2 or 3," and he says, "I think I have like one color each. Which color do you want?" I chose blue, and I bought it from him, and this one's never gonna leave my collection at all. So, yeah, this is the Boost Blades Hound. Loved it. This one's pretty familiar, but this one is obviously been modded out by Knife Modders on Instagram. This is a real user knife, as you can see. I always pull this one out if I need to cut a box or something. Now, this is what's interesting about this knife is this is the all titanium version that they came out with. I think it's going on 5 years now. ZT decided to re-release the ZT-0562, which was originally a carbon fiber slab on one side, and then it was titanium on the other side. That's the knife you can still get. This is the longest running ZT knife ever, the 0562. I don't think it's ever going to go away. It's just become like a staple. It's almost kind of like Chris Reeves' Sebenza 21 or Sebenza 31, as it's now called. Yeah, it's just never going to leave. There's always that one knife that every knife company keeps, or the major knife company keeps, that becomes the face of their entire line. The 0562 by Rick Hinderer is that knife. So they have it. They still have it in the original black carbon fiber slab, and then a titanium one. That's still around. But then you also get it in what this knife was originally, which was all gray slate titanium. And then I decided to give it a different look by getting it all modded out. What's interesting about this knife is I sent it off to Knife Modders, and when I got it back, Richie, who runs Knife Modders, he really did a number on this one. Not only did he anodize it in this blue and gold color, right? But here's the one thing that he did to make me want to love the knife even more. It's very smooth. I mean, they don't have, when you buy this knife, whether you're buying the carbon fiber version or the titanium version, it's not going to be as smooth as this. Look at that. It's almost like it runs on just regular ball bearings, but look what he did to the knife. I mean, I don't know how many of you guys have 0562s. I'm sure a number of you guys have this knife. I would like someone to show me if their knife actually falls shut like mine does. And I got in contact with him. I said, "What did you do to the knife? It's like 10 times better because technically you're not even allowed to use this to pop the knife open. Everybody thinks this is a thumb stud. It's not a thumb stud, it's a blade stop. So you, but yet because he made it so super smooth, I can now use it as a thumb stud, which is quite ironic because I hate thumb studs. But the fact that I can do that on a knife that I'm not supposed to because of Richie from Knife Modders and the fact that he redid the knife, and I'm able to do that, I just love that. So I asked him, "What did you do to get the knife to be like this?" And he goes, "I cleaned it." I'm like, "What do you mean you cleaned it? I didn't even, I got this straight from the factory. I didn't even do anything to it." No, I just cleaned it. And he cleaned the crap out of it because it is like, oh my God, that's insane. Perfectly centered still. Really nice deep pocket clip. Beautiful job with the blue and the gold. So, and after all the work that he's using, I'm actually using the knife. This is like one of the few knives I grab when I need a box cut. This one is by We Knives. Again, I'm a big We Knife fan. I got four We Knives. This is a dagger style. Don't ask me what the name is because I just completely forgot. I'm sorry. Again, made by Justin Lundquist. The reason I got this knife, check it out. It is an integral. But usually when you see integral knives, right, it's titanium. What makes this knife so interesting is that it's carbon fiber. One piece of carbon fiber. There's, no separation. Usually you see like two halves. This is literally, this is like literally an integral made out of carbon fiber. You know what? I got to be honest with you. I love this knife so much. It's a fun flipping knife, dagger style, sharpened only on one side of the blade. I mean, I love this knife so much. I would love to see this in like a 3.5-inch version. Oh man, I would definitely go for that. Huge 3.5, but I don't think Justin's gonna ever do that. But he should consider it, or they should consider it, because it's a great little knife. But to have it all carbon fiber like that in a big 3.5 or even 3.6-inch knife, yeah, that would go over well with a lot of people. Very smooth, runs on ball bearings. Nice deep pocket clip. I mean, you don't even see the knife when you pop it in your pocket. You just won't see it sticking out at all. Perfectly centered. It's just a great overall knife. Now the flipper, the front flipper mechanism on this, it's the same as this one here, where you don't see much of the flipper, right? But it's very comfortable to not only do it with your thumb, right? But you can also do it with your index finger, and it's just as comfortable doing it with your index finger. He makes the gym thing very accessible, so you should have no problem reaching and then pulling it, get it out there. The next one is a Balisong knife, which I had a lot of fun with because I actually had to teach myself how to do the Balisong. I wish I could do it on camera, but yeah, see, I can't do it because you don't have any room. I'm gonna get it out of the way, but I've done it. There's a video of me actually doing it. This one is all carbon fiber, CB20 steel. Again, just like automatics, these things are illegal, but me being a Filipino and Balasongs, Filipino, you got to get something that's in your culture. So I got one of these. I really should be using it more as a user, and I'm going to start doing that. Because what else am I going to do with it? I had plans to learn a bunch of tricks, but it hasn't happened. However, I can flip it very, very effectively, so I'm at least happy I can say I could do that. The next one is kind of like a sore thumb for me. This is the Yojimbo 2, one of my favorite knives, made by Michael Janish, or designed by Michael Janish, who's a self-defense martial arts instructor. He came up with this knife. The original the original version of this knife is a 3.2-inch blade. in G10. This is the Yojimbo in carbon fiber handle. I like it. I just think it's really way too big. I think my regret about the Yojimbo 2 is that it's not a 3.5 inch blade. It's only a 3.2. But what is kind of sticks out like a sore thumb for me about this knife is the fact that I got rid of the Yojimbo 2, and I have the Yojimbo 2 in S9DV steel, also with carbon fiber handles, and I got rid of it. I'm so sorry I did that. And then what happened was I missed that knife, and then I tried to get a hold of it, and by that time it was gone, or they got it on eBay selling for like $700. I'm not gonna do that crap, so I wound up getting this one. But this is one of the ones I'm going to sell if anybody's interested in buying the Yojimbo. I'm going to let it go for like a really good price. I'm just more than happy to get rid of it. It's just too big. For my hand, the ergonomics don't even feel correct. I mean, my middle finger sits right here on this lumpy part. Something kind of uncomfortable about that. And even though I can put two fingers here, it doesn't feel quite comfortable. Because the way it's supposed to work is that your fingers, two fingers fit here, another two fingers fit there, and it's supposed to leave this part here open. You know what I mean? But it doesn't. It's not ergonomically comfy. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna be getting rid of that one. Moving on, the Benchmade Mini Bug Out in carbon fiber. This one's a really nice knife. One of the few that has no issues. Now, Benchmade, as far as I understand it, I'm sure you guys are very familiar with Benchmade. In the last few years, they've had like some production issues and things like blade play, knives not being centered, that kind of thing. Supposedly, they've gone back and reevaluated what they do, and minimize things like the knife not being centered and the knife having blade play and that kind of thing, because that was one of the issues that Benchmade had. In fact, there was a point 2 years back where they just pulled all of their knives from retail stores. Like if you were to go down to maybe Sportco here in Washington, they used to have a big Benchmade display. They got rid of it; it was gone, and they brought them back. Benchmade's now back in stores. I'm assuming having resolved whatever production issues they've had. So yeah, this is only one of two Benchmade knives that I currently have. I used to have a Barrage and a Mini Barrage and, quite a few other Benchmade knives, and I just got rid of them. For this knife and another knife I'm going to show you in a minute. This one is the Kershaw Livewire. You guys have seen, this is like Kershaw's first attempt at out the front. I really do like out the front knives until I learned that all out the front knives have a little bit of blade play. They all have a little bit of blade play. It doesn't matter what brand you get, doesn't matter what company you go with, they all have blade play, except for one company. G&G Hawk makes an out the front knife with zero blade play on it. Unfortunately, that one would be like over $1,000 for one of those. And you're basically paying for the knife to have such an amazing solid lockup. In fact, that's the name of the out the front. It's called the Deadlock, and it's the only one that's out there without any blade play. So the Kershaw one, and as well as all the others, have a little bit of blade play on it. So, yeah. What's interesting about this knife is that it's got a safety feature. So if I were to eject it, see how it does that? See, it's all nice and loose. That's sort of like their safety feature. All you got to do is just pull it out, feel it snap the spring back in place, and then you're good to go. So, the Livewire by Kershaw. This one isn't even all that expensive. I think it's like $100, maybe, like right around there. Of all the knives in my collection, production collection. This is one that I am never, ever getting rid of. I am a huge titanium integral fan. And this was one of the very first integral knives that were out there that got a lot of attention by Benchmade. What's ironic is that this knife, for a short time, a very, very short time, this knife was basically a lot like Zero Tolerance's 0562, where this was going to be like the face of the company, the knife, this one, the Anthem. But because of the price tag on this knife, and this knife was like $400, it kind of faded away. And the reason the knife faded away is, now, what makes this knife so innovative, and a reason to keep it if you haven't, is this was sort of an enhanced version of Benchmade's Access Lock. So just to explain, on this knife, there's a coil spring inside. You see the spring in there? That is the only thing that is allowing you to pull back on the blade and then be able to use it and pop it open. And it's smooth, but the fact that it's only just this coil spring inside the pivot here, or near the pivot, I guess, you've only got one thing that is keeping the mechanism going, and that's this coil spring. With the Anthem, it's a completely different thing. They give you the access lock, right? But instead of having a coil spring inside the pivot, what do? They adhere the spring inside the knife and adhere it to the back of the knife, right? Because, and the reason that is with the coil spring, you can loosen the pivot, right? And then have it be nice and smooth. But it'll have like a little bit of blade play. Or you can tighten it and it won't be as smooth, right? And you may even lose the centering on it. This is just one of the ones that just happens to be perfect. But with this, you get the best of both worlds. You can have it be super smooth and perfectly centered at the same time. So that one I wanted to keep. The pocket clip sucked. So I got a hold of Adam Purvis, who makes pocket clips, and he made this one for me. Yeah, and since then, this has definitely been one that I'm going to keep and it's going to stay in my collection forever. Moving on towards the end of this video, thank God. This is the Spyderco Swish Bowie. This is the original Spyderco Swish Bowie. I had it modded out again by Knife Mod. Oh, no, not by Knife Modders. I can't remember who modded this one out. But I had it Cerakoted in gold and black, and it was my idea to have it gold handle on one side with black screws, and then on the other side, all black Cerakote with gold screws. So I thought that was kind of cool, right? Give it sort of like a two-faced kind of thing. Again, wire pocket clip. Kind of sorry I didn't get the pocket clip anodized also. I thought that might have been a cool thing to do, but whatever. Or maybe you can get it maybe in black or something. I've had it resharpened since then. I use it every once in a while, not that much. But, you guys know that the Spyderco Swish Bowie has been like, the most talked about knife for like 4 years straight, thanks to Nick Shabazz. It only runs on washers, and it is a very smooth knife. Yeah. I have the backspacer Cerakoted as well in silver, which I kind of like. Oh, that's why I didn't get it. Cerakoted is because I wanted the pocket clip to match the backspacer. So that was the idea right there. Yeah, Spyderco Swish Bowie. Good luck in finding one of these. You can go online on eBay. I'm sure someone's selling it for $1,200. Anybody who wants one of these, don't buy it for $1,200. It's not worth that money, folks. This one is a favorite. This, again, is Boost Blades Smoke. This is the Smoke 1. Okay. The Boost Blades Smoke 1. Where is my other one? Here we go. This one is sort of like a safe queen because they don't make it anymore. This one's an all carbon fiber And again, titanium backside. I really love this knife, and it wound up as a safe queen. It's still a safe queen. I won't be using it. This is amazingly smooth. This is the Smoke 2. And this one gets used a hell of a lot. I actually use it as a steak knife. I use it for eating every day. It's a great knife. When I first got the knife, it was really stiff, but now, as you guys can see, it's actually still not as smooth as the Smoke 1. The Smoke 1 is actually quite smoother. But this one got broken in really nicely. The difference between the two knives, the 1 and 2, is that this one was manufactured by We Knives. And then, for whatever reason, William Booz decided to go with a different manufacturer company. He went with Bestech. Now, the difference between We Knives and Bestech is that We Knives is kind of more towards the collector. They're more towards, making knives for people that are into collecting knives, so everything is a lot tighter. Whereas Bestech, and there's nothing wrong with Bestech, but Bestech is a tool knife company. So their knives are going to be more geared toward people that buy the knife and they're going to use it, which is basically what happened with this one. I wound up using it as a steak knife. I mean, it's crazy. So this is the We Knives Smoke 1. There's a newer knife by William Booz called the Fang. There's going to be a good chance you'll see that one in my collection too. I don't know when, but yeah, I'm planning on getting one of those if he's got one still lying around. Another favorite, Kershaw. This is like my ultimate Kershaw knife. This is the Bare Knuckle. Thank God I remember the name of this one. The Kershaw Bare Knuckle. This was a special edition version, all carbon fiber. And M390 blade steel and black wash. Nice black pocket clip, deep pocket clip. It's a really great knife, very smooth. This is basically would be considered one of Kershaw's high-end knives. And, as soon as I saw this, I freaking picked this one up big time. The last knife in my collection, super special. As you guys know, I'm really into integral knives, and this one's made by Guascacini. Oh, man. This, I can't remember the name of it. This one has what's called the spring-loaded tab feature. Basically, it's a flipper knife, but the flipper is kind of hidden. Oh, God damn it, I want the name to come to me. So basically the way it operates is this. There's a spring-loaded tab here. The thing kind of loads up like a charger on the gun, and then you just sort of pull back and the thing pops open. The feature of this is that the flipper doesn't stick out on the knife like this. Instead, it rides on a spring and is hidden, so when you pop it in your back pocket, right, the pecker won't stick out, but it still flips really super nice. And the best part about it, not only is it an integral, but look how smooth of an action it is. This is an all titanium integral knife. So, really nice, really very nice. I'm sitting here flipping it because I'm kind of hoping the name's going to come to me. What the hell the name of this knife is called. It's one of my favorites, and all of a sudden I can't remember. This is, again, by Guascacini. With the spring-loaded tab feature, all integral knife. There's another We Knife integral. That's probably going to wind up in my collection too. I'm such a big integral fan. There's something about a knife being all one piece of titanium, or, in this case, all one-piece carbon fiber, especially this, man. Like I said, I wish they made this in 3.5. That would be so cool if they made one of these in 3.5. Sort of like a nice contrast, titanium, big titanium integral knife and a big carbon fiber. Something about that. I think like I collect like a collector, and I think like a collector rather than a user. So I try to appreciate everything about knives, but you really can't help but like what you like. So anyway, that's my entire production collection. I'm gonna pray to God it doesn't grow anymore because I want to continue on with with the South African knife collection, which is what my collection mostly is, my South African custom knife collection. But you can't be a knife collector and not have a bunch of production knives that were the basis for what you're collecting now. Oh, I got one more knife to show you, and the reason I didn't show it to you is because I forgot the name of it, and I still can't remember the goddamn name of it, but I wanted to show you this one. This is the cheapest knife in my collection, guys, all right? And it feels like a custom. This is made by Sienkiewicz. I wish I could remember the name of it. I can't. I'm sorry. This is sort of like a like G10 carbon fiber inlay here in the middle. It's a Sienkiewicz design. This knife is like freaking, what, $40? And it's probably the smoothest knife that Kershaw has ever made. It runs on ball bearings. Here, check this out, guys. This thing flips and closes like a custom. Look at this. Check that out. The only downside about this knife is I wish they made it in 3.6 or 3.5, because this would be the huge seller. I mean, really huge seller. It's just a gorgeously super smooth, nice knife. It looks really nice. The ergonomics are perfect. They're right there, dead on. I do love the drop point modified blade on this with the stonewash finish there. It's in D2. It's a subframe lock, so it's where they take the frame lock and cut a section out. Instead of making it the entire frame, right, like say here on the Spyderco Swiss Bowie, where it goes all the way down to the bottom here, that would be a full frame. This is sort of like a subframe lock, where they cut out a section. And this knife is, goddamn, for $40? Are you kidding me? Get this one. Nice deep pocket clip. This is an everyday user one. I mean, if you can't afford a custom, this is the one for you. When you want a custom knife, you at least want to get a feel of what a custom knife is like. I mean, god damn, look at that. The feel of the way it closes. There's no ball bearing knife production that closes like that. That's a custom feel one. I could do that all day, right? Check it out. Like, boom, gone. I mean, it is just nuts. And there's no blade play. It's as solid as a freaking rock. Just an amazing, amazing knife. And yeah, again, this knife, like this one, I wish were like in bigger sizes. I'd be so super happy. But it's, it's not going to happen. I'm not a knife company. They can do whatever they want, right? We just come across these things and find serious merit in owning it, and then kind of wish something else about it. And then in both those cases, I wish they were just bigger knives. That's about it. Otherwise, they're perfect folders to own. So that's it for my production knife collection. I really didn't think it was going to go run this long, but I haven't brought this collection out ever, and I wanted you guys to see what it is that I own. Also, I'm assuming that you're not going to have any problems looking at this video on camera. In other words, it's pretty clear because I'm actually doing it in my room. It just takes a lot of work to set it up like this. And while you can't see all the knives in the frame, at least it was good enough that I was actually able to hold up all the knives so you guys can see them all. Anyway, that's it for this video. This is my small collection, yeah, right, of production knives. Which, if you guys see something here, you might want to consider buying. Just before I let you guys go, this is for sale. I'm going to go ahead and let this go for a ridiculous price if anybody's interested. I'm also going to sell this one for a pretty good price. Also, this one I'm willing to sell as well, if you guys are interested in going. And yeah, you know what? I'll let the Sage go too. If anybody's interested in getting a Spyderco Sage, let me know. I'll be willing to sell that too. Yeah, I think other than that, I think that might be. Oh no, the Yojumbo knife. I'll get rid of that also. You know, for a pretty decent price, at least a lot better than what you can get on eBay. So if you guys are interested in either, I'm gonna lay them all out so you guys can see. If you're interested in this knife, this one, need that one, yeah, this one, this one, this one. I forgot. I want to get rid of this too. You guys can, if you guys want to buy, just make me an offer on any one of these that I'm pulling out. If you want to make me an offer on any of the 5 of these, let me know. I'm probably willing to let it go for whatever price if it's reasonable. Trying to think if there's anything else. No, I think that's about it. Everything else here I'm kind of happy with. So it's these 5, the Spyderco Sage, the Live Wire by Kershaw, the Re-Knife Shadan, this one, which I can't remember, and then the Yojumbo. The Yojumbo knife, I'm willing to get rid of that too. This is a big sucker, but you know, it's S9DB. It's a special edition one. I also want to let you guys know all these knives here that I'm selling, they all come in boxes, so you don't have to worry about that. I have all the boxes pristine. So if you're interested, give me just give me a shout out, make a comment on this video, and we can discuss price for all 5 of these. Whichever one you're interested in, and just because I'm not good at selling things on Instagram, so I just don't have that. So I'm kind of hoping one of you guys might be interested in one of the knives here on one of the 5 that are here. All right, so that's it. 42 minutes is really long for a video. I do apologize for that, but sometimes it runs long, sometimes it doesn't run long. I do have a new knife that I'm going to show you guys later on today. But for now, happy 4th of July, and happy knife hunting, guys. This is Omar, your South African knife guy, showing you what regular production knives I have. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video later on today. Happy 4th, and I'll catch you guys later.